Hi, it's Hazel, and welcome to my channel, Hazel and Naka Design. This is part 2 of I've hit the thrifting jackpot series of videos, and I just need to say something. In every aspect of my life, I aim for congruence. In other words, I want my walk and my talk to match. I don't want there to be discrepancies between what I'm saying and how I actually behave. But there is one notable exception, and that is thrifting. I don't understand what it is. I don't get it. I know I'm not alone in this, but honestly, it is it's a disease. How can a disease bring so much pleasure? I don't know. Anyway, if you know the answer, feel free to share it in the comments. Or if you even have a theory, I'm willing to hear that. Anyway, I'm sorry. In this episode, I'm going to show you, well, probably some odds and ends, but also this is a stationery or office lot that I bid on. And I just spotted something across the room. I didn't acquire it at this time, but I've never shown it. So just talk amongst yourselves while I go get it. Actually, I'm bringing two things. Okay, I'll get them out of the way first. I have a weakness for vintage staplers. Now this is a Boss Stitch. Seems to me I brought vintage staplers to a live sale early on. Don't know that they did that well. Maybe it's time to try it again this many months later. Anyway, this is very heavy duty, and it works. This, I think this is called a beam scale. It says Triner Airmail Accuracy Scale. It's like an army green. It's got this thing, obviously, that, and I do have a rag here in case I feel a burning desire to dust as I'm going along. Anyway, it's really cool. I have no idea if it's accurate or not, but clearly it is kind of a showpiece. Okay, so let's look at some other things. Now, this is a very dirty, beat up, what I would call a cash bag. So back in the day, a lot of this is the sort of a provincial banking, whatever. It's not part of the Big Six. It's not a credit union. It was a banking system that the province came up with. Now, when my parents had their business, when we had our business, it was a case of you put your deposit book, any rolled coins or bills or whatever it is that you were depositing into the bag. Now, I will run this through the dishwasher, that clothing, the washing machine, to see if I can get it less gross. I do have others, so this was just part of the lot. It obviously wasn't, one of the things that drove the decision to bid on it. I'm sorry. The other day, well, yesterday, my husband and I were in the city because we both needed to see the dentist. I don't know that I've ever told that story, and I probably won't. Anyway, we went to the Alberta government surplus. So it is both an online platform and an in-person warehouse type thing where the government disposes of things that they have taken out of service. Back in the day, we were able to buy government cars that way through a sealed bid process. typically what you would find there are office chairs, credenzas, filing cabinets, tables, and quite a bit of stationery and like file folders and so on. In a locked showcase, they had this. And now it says Provincial Court of Alberta. And I'm thinking, well, that's a bonus. I do have one other, and I'm going to show you two more. Embossing things like this. One I thrifted elsewhere, and one was in this lot. And this was very attractively priced at $1. So I'm thinking, oh, that's a steal of a deal. So, of course, when she opened the showcase, she says, well, but the rubber, like the embossing plate, has been removed. She says, but a lot of accounting firms and so on buy these things, and then they get their own thing custom made. And I'm thinking, well, I have wasted $1 once or twice before in my life. I will take a chance in this. Now, I haven't had this, well, I guess the brand name is Official. I haven't had a chance. Actually, there's an Edmonton. Oh, I can almost read that. Something Stamp Company, Edmonton. Anyway, she believed, and it makes good sense, that either a rubber stamp company or online, a person should be able to get a custom thing made. And she said a lot of accounting firms and people like that buy these things for that very purpose. So I'm going to give that a whirl. And if it works, you'll probably see me embossing anything that stands still. While there, I also picked up a couple of these brochure holders. It just irks me, something fierce, the way the kind of stickers that they put on these things. Like, I'm going to spend a good part of the best years of my life getting this off. But $2, and it's got 4 compartments each. They have the slotted holes if I wanted to hang this. Now, I got a ruler here. Oh, I do. Never leave home without a ruler. Turn it right side up. So each opening is about 4 1/4. So, you know how they always say for storage, go vertical? So I'm thinking that this could very easily be a way to sort either ephemera that needs to be, completed, or even completed stuff, because it's sort of that stadium kind of, thing. A person can easily see what they're looking for or at. So I will get those stickers off, clean that up. Oh, and by the way, if you've ever tried to buy anything made of acrylic, I guess that's acrylic, not plexiglass, you will be sick at the prices. So let's carry on. Now this says Carl desk set. So the antique store price is $45. So it's got this little perennial calendar here. I guess you line and figure out, like, okay, so in August, yeah, I think in August, I think the first Friday is, the 1st of August is a Friday. So this particular configuration would work for August. This thing also pops open. Now, this is a pen holder, but I don't know if that's supposed to belong to this or not. Oh, somewhere right here is the box from it. It says with pin tray, perpetual calendar, and memo paper. Obviously the box, we know boxes have value as well. So this lifts out. Now, I'm not sure what would have been back. Oh, maybe that's, well, I don't know. They have paper here. Clearly a person could put like a Post-it pad or something there. This is like a two-tone teal turquoise kind of thing. So who knows if I set up a vintage looking desk, who am I kidding? I would have to have a display someplace else. Anyway, I thought that was kind of cool. So let's put this aside. Oh, I shouldn't have put it too far away. I want a piece of paper. I also bought two, well, in this lot was included two of these vintage or antique embossing things. I don't see a brand name on this, but honestly, you could use this for your physio routine. It's so heavy. And it says that it would have been $85. Okay, so let's put this paper in there and see what we can see. Oh, works like a hot damn. Mount Pleasant Lodge, number 49, IOOF, Vegreville, Alberta. So that's about 50 kilometers from where I live. I mean, that place doesn't exist anymore, but so IOOF is the International Order of Odd Fellows. And I, of course, didn't know what that was. But a lot of the paper ephemera that I bought belonged to that organization. So if you Google it, you will find that it was, now I don't know if it was totally international or if it was just North America or whatever. It was founded, it was an order, a fraternal order sort of, that was founded in the 1880s. And their symbol is these three like links, sort of chain links. And their goal was maybe love, friendship, and service, or something, you know, those kind of qualities. And so I was very lucky to be able to buy all this stuff. So, and I think this is sufficiently interesting enough, old enough that, you know, even if I emboss something for a journal, it would very clearly be, you know, it would be an added feature. This is a different brand. Oh, is this the one that we had trouble with when we did the viewing? This is a stinker and a half. I know that I couldn't make it come up. Neither could the woman, the auction person. But then my husband did something and I did. So clear, maybe it needs a little WD-40 or something. I don't know. Oh, this one says as is. So this one probably is kind of a more defective or less efficient thing. This one would have been priced at $65. So we'll leave that in there. Oh, look at how it's been welded and whatnot. Anyway, part of the lot. I know that he was able to make that thing work, so we'll figure out how. This is a CP rail stamp. Now, you know that these things, somehow, they open up. It's got to do something with this, I'm sure. And then you can change the date. Now, 76, 70, oh, kind of brittle. I should have left it where it was. Maybe I could break off a couple more. So we'll leave it at 1975, because that was a good year. Made in England. I have others like this. Customer Service Center, Brandon, Manitoba. Price on this, $25. So I'll add this to my collection. I will maybe I'll try gluing this back on with Fabri-Tac or E6000. Where am I going to put this so it doesn't get lost? This is a rubber, a wood-mounted rubber stamp, and it is the Canton Edmonton #1. So I had to Google what Canton meant, and it means a small district or part of a country. So it appears that with the International Order of Oddfellows, that there were cantons all over the place, and one of them was based in Edmonton, and it was number 1. So I don't know how the numbering went. This, I have no idea what this is. It's got this little jack thing here, but then it says Vintage Sovereign Electric Eraser and Accessories Works. I'm thinking, well, eraser, where? But then I found this piece, which is part of the same thing. So I don't know if this sits, oh, so this sits here, ever ready. But how do you, I don't know what this little jack is for. Like, so far, I've been able to muster up the manpower, the, there's a button, the energy, the dexterity to do my own erasing without aid of an electric device. But, hey, it was part of the lot. So we'll put that aside. So these, okay, so what are these now? Stano pens, 1.4. So it's got a reservoir of some kind. Oh, that is kind of strange. Stano pen. Okay, I don't know what this is. I guess I should be Googling it. So these are just more of the same in different sizes. So, oh, you know what? Oh, look how fine that is. Again, piece of paper. Let's just rip. Okay, that obviously doesn't have anything in it. But some of this, now again, without taking a better look, it almost, I don't think it's a lead, but it's probably more like a thing that holds ink. Anyway, no idea about that. Okay, while I'm talking, let me do some dusting. This is a two whatever. I see these things all the time. I own probably, well, a few of them. This is just moving dust from place to place. It's metal, it's gray. It is a way to gray industrial steel file tray, double, $18. Well, I've paid like $2 for these. They have the little slot here where you could put a paper label in there and say, you know, in and out or whatever it is that you want. This is probably not in the most pristine shape I've ever seen, but that's all right. I don't think these things are stackable. And this is just letter sized. Let me stack some of these things up to make a little room on this table, because I'm hoping I can show you more than just office stuff. Oh dear, I just knocked that on the floor. Okay, this is clearly one of those punches. It says made in England, Criterion. This is obviously, oh dear, I shouldn't have pulled it that far out. Now, what are the odds of, oh, look, a little trap door. I guess to aim that back in there while you're still young enough to do it. Oh, and also to hold the debris from the punches. Hole punch made in England, $35. So this is obviously, I mean, these things are, and I don't think I own any, or one. So those binding boxes, and in fact I did get a few binding boxes in one of the auction lots. This would have been what the steno or whoever assistant would have used to punch holes in them so that they're evenly spaced and you're not having to try to line things up to make it uniform. Okay. Stamp pad. I'm sure this is dried up, but $25. Canadian Banker stamp pad with a kid-proof cover. Yeah, it's hinged, so it should open. I don't really, these nails are just about on the verge of breaking off because I have an appointment schedule. Anyway, we'll pretend that we all know what a stamp pad looks like. It's very heavy. I don't know why it feels that way, but there is this, which is strange as can be. It says it's a unique Bits and Bobs paperweight, $18. Now, I don't know anything about resin, but it's got things like, there's an old staple in there, it's got washers, a screw, another screw, threaded, oh, that's a screw too. I don't know what some of these other things are. Oh, that's like a clock hand. Not sure what that is. Maybe if I hold still, you can see some of the things in there. So that's obviously nothing more than a conversation piece. Kind of cool. Now there was also this full vintage Listo leads, black, 162, and this tiny little thing was priced at $3. Again, if you missed part one, this auction featured people who had an antique mall and were retiring. Oh, look at how thick those are. Wow. What's that little metal thing there? Anyway, clearly this is, you know, just a little decorative piece. Oh, I should also tell you, I keep forgetting because I moved that kind of away, given that there's some arsenic. I also was the successful bidder on an apothecary, whatchamacallit, lot. Now, letter Ross opener. Oh. Regina, Saskatchewan. Vintage manual envelope cutter in box. So let's use our same piece of paper. So I guess this would have been to, how do we get that in there? Oh, I can see two blades. Anyway, let's just see what happens. You'd think I stole this piece of paper. It's so small. So let's undo this. This must be the reservoir for the little strips. So let's see what happened. Oh, yeah. Looky there. Whoa, maybe I could cut a finger off right there on camera. Well, isn't that a hot damn? Cute little thing. Kind of dumb that you have to tape the thing closed, but it's got finger holes. Cute little feet. Anyway, so when we have those envelopes that have been, those vintage envelopes we find sometimes that have been sealed shut through humidity or whatever, That is very, very sharp. Like it sliced through that like butter. Oh, well, look here. Look here. That's poor. They're sticking the short end of an envelope in there and just slicing off that little bit. So clearly I could use this to do that when I'm repurposing envelopes or something. Okay, 2 more items. I have no idea what this is. This is some kind of trim that got bent. I should try to glue that down. And what, pray tell, is in here? Oh, oh my God, is it one of those, a slide rule? The one I had in high school was blue plastic. It didn't have that fancy dancy case. I didn't know what I was doing with it then, and I surely don't know what I'm doing with this. That is cool. $58. As circa 1915. As found with case. So it doesn't, oh, this part slides, not the mechanism there. That's almost like tongue and groove construction. Boy, that is either a little rubbed off, a little bit not very readable. That is cool. And this feels like fabric. And then I won't bother fighting with this now. I don't think. Let's put that here. And then this final thing is a wood mounted, wait, what are these called? Is it called a tin type? So this appears to be, well, it's a man. Looks like he's in uniform. He's got his arms folded across his chest. He's got some kind of a, oh, he's got like a sword at his side. No labeling on this, so that's the best I can offer for that. Okay, let me see how much time has gone by, and then I'll tell you I'll figure out what I can show you next. Okay, I talked about this in the last video, and because I will be giving this to my daughter very soon, I figured I might as well just unwrap it and show you. As part of that kitchen lot, now this is obviously peeling or flaking off. This is a Pillsbury Doughboy, 1988. She probably isn't going to like that, but it's part of the gift. So these, and it's kind of unusual. Oh, made in occupied Japan. Supposedly things that were made in occupied Japan are very, very, very valuable. Anyway, salt and pepper, cobs of corn. So in this house that they bought, there is a built-in buffet china cabinet kind of thing. So she first got hooked on those green cabbages. She loves green, pukey green usually, but anyway, hooked on those very frilly looking cabbage leaves. So there are soup tureens and plates and platters and so on. And that became our mission in life, to find those things. There's a lot of crazing on this. Anyway, she has something similar to this little green thing, but on hers, they're tomatoes rather than red peppers. So given that this is quite small, she'll probably be able to find space for it. Anyway, because I love staging stuff and have the eye for that kind of thing, she's always gotten me to do the staging. So I used a variety of plate racks and risers and so on. And then at another auction a year or two ago, I bid on and paid dearly. I paid $90, $90. Well, there were more than this, more pieces than this one thing. But it is an eggplant that is probably this long on an even bigger platter. And the eggplant, the top of it opens and there's a ladle inside. So that thing is too big to fit in the showcase part, but it is on the sort of the buffet part. Now these, what are these anyway? Do lemons have leaves like that? I don't know. They don't really look lemon shaped, but I guess they would have, oh, the corks are gone. It also says Japan. They would have to be flat at the bottom in order to sit there. So there's that. Anyway, so yeah, every time I'm at an antique mall, or very, very occasionally will I find these things at a thrift store. Oh, she was talk about the way the world is funny. She was following somebody on Instagram and of course reached out and commented, you know, the lady's video. Oh, it's nice when they put a year, 1984, also Japan. Otagiri. Anyway, one thing led to another, and the lady says, well, would you like me to source those things for you when I'm out and about at thrift stores? And she has actually found her some pieces, so that's kind of nice. Anyway, tomato, its mate is MIA. Last piece, I've never seen anything like this. A carrot, and its mate is gone. But again, very cool. Okay, so those, now I can give them to her and not feel bad that you guys didn't get to see them. And again, I don't know that the Doughboy is going to make the cut, but you know, that's what it's like when you give a gift. You just never know. Okay, how are we doing? Whoops, I forgot to put the charger on my phone. That might give me a little more time. 32. How about some textiles? Now this is obviously a strange thing. It is a dowel with very decorative ends. And, you know, the cord that hangs down. Oh, that's not regular cord. That feels metallic. Anyway, old as the hills. And it belongs to that Edmonton canton. So, clearly this would have been hung up in their meeting room or wherever these people, and I'm sure, well, they were all men, of course. The female version of those IOOF people were called Rebecca's. But this trim and these tassels could certainly be removed. This dowel could be repurposed. Now it is, I like these decorative ends, but honestly, it's too long. But let's see, does that come off? Anyway, I will struggle with this. This clearly was probably just pushed on and sort of crimped. So what I could do is shorten this to whatever width I need for that great big, humongous, long, what was it, 70 inches long or something, thing that I made with thrifted, embroidered linens and, you know, created a wall hanging. So there's this purple. Now, obviously the back side is less faded. But oh my God, those stitches are so tiny. I hate picking stitches that are that tiny. This is an ivory color, stained. More of the fringe. Another couple of tassels. There's probably a tassel missing from this center. And the back of this is red. Oh, but that, oh, and there's kind of a stiffening kind of thing there. This is just sort of a nylon lining type thing. So this obviously needs some work. But if I can repurpose the dowel for that wall hanging thing, I'll definitely show you once I get it on there. And I'll also show you probably in a follow-up Friday video once I salvage this stuff. That is going to take some, oh, you know what? It was hand sewn. And it's like a two-part thing. So there's, obviously it's binding this side, but it's also binding this side. Cool. Oh my goodness. You know, when you see a thing like that in your auction lot, you think, should I just leave it in the dumpster behind the auction house? I might as well finish showing you these linens. Now, they just came out of the washing machine, so forgive their creased nature. I took the tag off because I didn't want it to go in the wash. Now, I think they called this a pot holder or something. So it's supposed to represent a bonnet. I don't know what the 100-year thing was, but I mean, this is cute enough. And if a person wanted to take that off, it would be easy enough to pick that out of there. It still looks pretty, but maybe the colors weren't that great to begin with. I don't know. It looks very faded, and it was maybe used because, I don't know, are those scorch marks? Okay, now this is a runner, and again, please pretend that this was ironed. I didn't have a chance. So we've got this lady in a couple bouquets, the variegated, very beautiful crocheted trim, like an overcasting on the linen itself, and then the little, you know, trim. What do you call it? Edging. Oh, and here's another couple of flowers midway. This looks like linen, and it will be a little bit tricky to iron. So I'll put that closer to the ironing board. This is just, I would say, a hanky, although it's heavy. It's linen also. Got these wee bits of embroidery here, but it's this, wait, what is this stuff called? Well, I guess it's called open work, you know, where somebody has pulled a thread and then done those stitches to give the piece integrity, both along here and here and here. So, you know, that is a very labor-intensive thing, as well as another crocheted edge on it. This is lovely. Looks like maybe something needs a little trimming there. It is another, like, dress or scarf or runner or something. Now, maybe this border here doesn't quite match as well as it could have, but that's okay. These are sufficiently nice and a good enough size that a person could, you know, do 3, well, actually 6, and use them on smaller projects. Or, you know, I'm always thinking about journal covers too. Let's see what the width is. I did not grow up in the age of starching. Never used starch in my life. I did, with a little difficulty, track down. Okay, it's 15 inches with the including the trims. Oh, this could be the beginning of a beautiful slow-stitched journal cover. Look, even part of the spine would be done. So 7.5, you know, add your pages, it would shrink it back a bit. Perfecto. Anyway, I did take a bit of effort. It took 2 or 3 people helping me to finally find some spray starch at Walmart. Well, it was with the cleaning stuff, but it was, anyway, no one had probably properly faced that display. Long story short, I bought it. I still haven't tried it out. Now, again, these things are kind of all shriveled up because I just washed and ironed, or not, washed and dried them. This could clearly be an overlay or a wraparound on a journal as well. In fact, it's pretty well perfect. Let's see, height-wise. It was made to be a journal thingamajigger. Add that to the ironing. I did show you those in the last video, those burner cover thingamajigs. This has stains, so, you know, more than likely the best bet would be to coffee or tea dye this to make those marks look planned and intentional. This would have been on a small burner cover. Again, some of the ones I showed last time had a drawstring. This does not, so I'm not sure. I guess these white parts could be cut off carefully. Oh no, that's connected to that. I don't know. Or maybe just forget that little lip is there. And this is fairly thick though. It's, you know, it's kind of like this, which is, you know, intended as like a pot holder thingamajig or a trivet. I do use some of these vintage ones in my actual kitchen because, you know, why not? This I thought had potential. I guess it's a placemat. It's 15 by 11. I'm thinking that this would have been pieced together after each of these were sewn. See how that thread is? Now this doesn't feel particularly good. However, wouldn't that give me a lot of medallions? So at some point I will take this baby apart so it's ready to use. Now this next piece has some beautiful blue edging on it. And it's got, this is still warm. It has some cross stitch, but honestly, I don't understand why anyone would cross stitch, go to all that effort on something that is nearly invisible. I thought there was some darker, oh, so it's not complete. So you can see there's some darker crosses added here. And it does have staining and holes. So clearly this will be cut up without any gilt whatsoever. But I guess, oh yeah, these are flowers. So probably this was never completed. And that's why it looks kind of, you know, so pale and almost washed out. And tell me if you know a trick. I sometimes find it very hard to find the beginning and the end of these kinds of trims. Jonna, you might know the answer since you're a crocheting girl. Because, oh, what's going on here? We got a bit of the blue missing. Oh, that might be a good place to cut into it. Typically, I do one of two things. I either cut, well, I do have to cut through it at some point, so let's pretend it's here. It would be nicer if that was where it began and ended. And then I take, you know, an inch or more of that so that if I want to use that edging, I have a little bit of something that I can either glue something over or just glue down or whatever. And it keeps the edging all intact. And if you do something different that I should be aware of, please, 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 don't keep it a secret. Tell me, tell me. So again, you can see, not only do I have husband's work shirts or not work shirts, but dress shirts to iron, I have a million linens to iron. Now, this obviously got worse when I washed it. It's really sort of distorted in the sense that it, you know, you've got something like this happening. So what I will do, and I think this is called filet, F-I-L-E-T, lace or crochet. So what I would do is, you know, pick a spot, and it's got 1, 2, 3, 5 of these medallions, or not medallions, but these cross-stitched things that are beautiful. And are they the same? Oh, in opposing corners, they are the same. And this middle one is like this. Anyway, that doesn't matter. Okay, so at this point, I want my cake and eat it too. I don't know if this was, you know, done on the straight of grain. So if I've got 2 2¼ inches there, I kind of split the difference and tear, because tearing is going to square things off. It's going to keep this intact and it's going to keep this intact, and I can use both for whatever it is that I want. So presumably once this edging has been freed from this, which is not giving at all, this will lie flatter. This will lie flatter and can be, you know, pressed out. And how big is this, by the way? Widest point to widest point, about 6½-ish by 6½-ish. So yes, and I will do this before I iron, because otherwise it's wasted effort to try to make this flat and then separate it. So I'll do my tearing, and then once these things are ironed, I try to store them flat or draped over something, or sometimes rolled, so that, you know, I'm not ironing the same piece of thing over and over again. This is the same sort of very dense looking crochet. Again, a dress or scarf or something. There is no other color involved here, so how wide is this? 14. So again, you know, it's one of those things where I need to begin, because my stash of this stuff is starting to pile up. Well, that's the wrong side. This is the right side. Because my stash is starting, because I have now a lot of this stuff, like I did with that wall hanging, it is time to begin being, you know, a little more lavish with my use of this and not be too skimpy with what I choose to use. I love this. Now, I don't know how old it is. It says California Handprints. Now, of course, there's no date. This reminds me of those vintage tablecloths. Now, I'm not going to unfold the whole thing. It's essentially white in the middle, but there are these lovely, vibrant carnations all around. Now, this is not the biggest thing in the world, but you can see the scale of this. Well, let's just see. So this is the corner. So this could easily be an entire journal cover. If we used a side part of it, you know, it's easy enough to get a 12-inch chunk. I hope you can see that, a 12-inch chunk. So again, do I cut this into pieces and make it available for sale, either through my Etsy shop or my live sale, knowing that I better cover my butt with this country of origin, but also would need to put stickers on each remnant that I cut off. Okay, and then finally this baby quilt. Now I washed this. This is flannelette on this side. And I don't know what that is. That almost looks like glue or something. Which I guess baking it in the dryer didn't help. These tied quilts aren't necessarily my favorite look, but I mean, I love the vibrancy of the red and the prints. I have no idea. Anybody out there? Anybody? Is that feed sack or unlikely? But, so, I mean, it would be easy enough. Oh, this is just an overcast stitch. This is maybe where it was closed. Okay, this would have been, oh no, that's all around. So it would be easy enough to take this apart. First, snip these threads. Then you end up with the flannelette side. You end up with the quilted side. And I like that these pieces are big enough. They're probably 4 inches. 3.5 square. 3 1/4 squared, something like that. 3 3/8. I can't wait to do something with this. And again, because it's, you know, a quilt, baby quilt size, it's not like there will be millions of miles of this to use up. So if you have a theory, hey, how did this guy get in here? Whoops, there goes the ruler. That orangey piece, well, I guess there are a couple of those. Anyway, tell me what you think. And you can also weigh in on what you think was your favorite item in this video. Yeah, I'll leave that other. Oh, let me show you this and I'll get it out of the way. This is called Rosette Iron with 3 molds. Now, don't ask me. Oh, staple. Don't ask me what a Rosette Iron is, because I do not know. But it looks like this is a threaded thing. So it clearly fits in there. So what are you like, were these cookie cutters or? How about doing it this way? Bang. This isn't particularly high, so I could see this becoming part of a journal topper. Butterfly, flower, and the 4 suits of playing cards. Not particularly fine workmanship, I must say. Anyway, if you know anything more about that, tell me, because clearly I don't. Yes, so we'll stop there. Thank you so much. Next time, I'll show you some cooking, like some cookbooks and so on, that are pretty cool. And maybe some of the actual IOOF ephemera. I also got some books elsewhere. And look at something like this. So when I was at the viewing of the auction, I said, so what's in there? And she says, well, we try not to open things. So I'll obviously open it on camera. Anyway, guys, oh, maybe I can just show you this. A 1953 T. Eaton Company Limited Spring and Summer Catalog. I recently got my hands on a 1959-60 that is in, well, had a missing cover and some damage. So I am figuring out a way to get some of those pages into your hands. Let's not skip over the girdles just like that. How many pages of girdles in this catalog? Well, and how about garters? A garter girdle. So that was boned also? Yikes. Okay, so half a page there. Read these instructions before ordering foundation garments. A well-fitted bra gives support and flattery. Ooh, fancy. Now, I don't know about you, but I am so glad that I came after the girdle era. Mind you, then, wait, what are those things called? What are those other torture devices that oh, bridal stuff. Oh, that all the stars wear. Anyway, I can't think of it, but it's obviously a space age fabrication. Anyway, maybe I will do a bit more of a flip through of this. Cool. Anyway, teaser. Okay, thanks, guys. We shall see you in the next one. Thanks so much for being here. And as I've said before, a subscription to my channel would be very much appreciated. And if you hit the notification bell, you will be sure to see all of these Jackpot part videos as well as everything else that I do. Anyway, thank you so much. We shall see you in the next one. Bye-bye.